Family Guy is reportedly working on a savage parody of Rachel Zegler, and if it airs, it could be the final nail in her already crumbling career. From the moment she insulted the original Snow White, the internet turned on her. But now, it's not just trolls and critics. TV's most ruthless comedy show may be taking aim. Sources close to the show say a cutaway scene is in development.
They're remaking the movie. They just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why
now,
would they
too?
get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group. You just erased that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage. There's power of being on TV. There's power of television. And to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story. Don't change the characters.
One that paints Rachel's Snow White as a self-important activist, lecturing the dwarfs about the patriarchy. And let's be honest, when Family Guy decides to roast you, you don't lose credibility. You become a permanent joke. Hollywood's golden girl turned lightning rod for backlash. Is Rachel Zegler about to be immortalized in satire? Or is this just another internet rumor gone wild? Here's how one of Disney's brightest stars became a cultural punchline. And why everyone thinks Family Guy is about to go for the jugular. This is a fall from grace you have to see to believe. She was supposed to be Disney's next big thing. After her breakout role in West Side Story, Rachel Zegler was hailed as the future of Hollywood. Young, talented, and already working with industry giants like Steven Spielberg. So when she was cast as the lead in Disney's live-action Snow White, it seemed like the perfect fit. A beloved fairy tale, a billion-dollar brand, and a rising star stepping into the spotlight. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. Almost immediately after the announcement, fans started to question the direction of the remake. But things really spiraled when Rachel herself began doing interviews. Instead of focusing on the magic of playing such an iconic role, she launched into critiques, slamming the original 1937 film as outdated and weird. She said the prince was basically a stalker, that Snow White wouldn't be dreaming about love anymore, that this version of the story was about leadership and independence. And just like that, the fairy tale turned into a PR nightmare. What was supposed to be a celebration of a classic Disney character became a war of words between Rachel and the fans. And in the eyes of many, she wasn't playing the princess. She was mocking her.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937. It's going to be safe for the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
And this was only the beginning. It was one interview after another, and with each one, the backlash got worse.
Rachel Zegler just keeps making things worse with the Walt Disney Company. The more that she tries to defend this movie, the more that she tries to spew her agenda onto the general public, it's only making matters worse. Not just for Bob Iger, but for whatever is left of the image of Disney as a whole.
Instead of building excitement for the film, Rachel's comments felt like she was tearing down everything that made Snow White a timeless story. And audiences weren't having it. She insisted that the original cartoon prince was creepy, that the message of true love was outdated, that this version would be different, stronger, feminist, and not made for the male gaze.
Audiences walk away from this film with an understanding of the true meaning of fairness, of what it means to be fair in this world. There is a message that's been carried on for almost 90 years now from the original animated classic. That is, fairness is what is within. Fairness is to do with your heart, the way you treat the people around you. And it has nothing to do with what you look like. And that's the misunderstanding between Snow White and the Evil Queen. I think it's such an important message, and the way that Disney has elevated it and brought it to this new audience is very special.
But for millions of Disney fans around the world, it felt like she wasn't just modernizing the story. She was insulting the very thing that made it magical in the first place. Clips of her interviews went viral. Not because they were inspiring, but because people were stunned. The tone came off as smug. The messaging, preachy. And soon, the internet exploded with memes, reactions, and open mockery.
Snow White gets her name, not from the fairness of her skin, as we obviously know Rachel Zegler would be a miscast in that sense. Instead, she gets her name from surviving the snowstorm.
I just want to tell you guys about incredible movie that just came out, Snow White. Wow. I just got to tell you, best movie I've seen in years, and there have been some really, really good films lately. Madam Web, Rebel Moon Part 1, that movie, that transgender one with the Mexican drug lord. But Snow White blows them all away. Chat, this movie has everything. Horrifying, CGI, little people, check. A feminist princess who don't need no man, double check. Diddy dance party at the end, double Diddy check. All this to say, go see Snow White right now. The new one. Not that old stupid one where the princess gets saved by some good, upstanding guy.
Fans began calling her the most unlikable Disney princess ever. Others said she was turning Snow White into a TED Talk. And as the clips kept coming, it only got worse.
When the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Every time she tried to clarify or defend her comments, it backfired. Instead of calming the storm, she poured more fuel on the fire. And behind the scenes, Disney said nothing. No clarification, no course correction, just silence. But the internet wasn't silent. It was loud, angry, and now it was laughing. As the interviews piled up, so did the mockery. The internet crowned her with a new nickname, Girl Boss Snow White. And no, it wasn't a compliment. Social media lit up with sarcastic takes, edits of Rachel's face on corporate motivational posters, Snow White memes holding picket signs, fake trailers titled Snow Woke, a tale of feminist justice. Every tweet, every soundbite, every public appearance was twisted into a joke. What Rachel may have seen as empowerment, the internet saw as ego, and what was supposed to be a bold reimagining quickly became a cautionary tale. Reddit threads called the remake Disney's most tone-deaf project ever. TikToks mocked her dramatic delivery. YouTube videos labeled her interviews as PR disasters. Even longtime Disney fans, people who wanted the movie to succeed, said they were embarrassed. And the worst part? The memes weren't going away. They were multiplying.
You want a nice shiny red apple to put in that pie?
No!
Every time Rachel tried to speak up, the internet clapped back louder. It didn't matter what her intentions were anymore. She had become a character, and not the kind Disney wanted her to be. But just when the backlash seemed to reach its peak, Family Guy entered the chat. When Family Guy targets you, you know the damage is done. According to industry insiders, the show's writers are already developing a cutaway gag featuring a not-so-subtle version of Rachel Zegler's Snow White, under the title Snow Woke. The rumored scene? Picture this. A village full of confused cartoon peasants listening to Rachel Z lecture them about smashing the patriarchy, canceling princes, and demanding streaming residuals before being rescued. Peter Griffin, dressed as Prince Charming, gets shut down mid-rescue attempt with a line like, "Sorry, buddy, this damsel rescues herself and sends you an invoice."
My queen, you're the fairest, but no longer the most evil.
Wait, what?
Classic Family Guy. The tone, brutal, blunt, and exactly the kind of satire that leaves a lasting mark. If the episode goes to air, it won't just be another celebrity jab. It'll be a cultural stamp. A confirmation that Rachel's fall from grace is no longer just a series of bad headlines. It's comedy canon. And that's the moment many stars dread. Because when Family Guy turns your controversy into content, it means you're no longer taken seriously. The audience isn't sympathizing anymore. They're laughing. By the time Snow White finally hit theaters, the damage was already done. Despite Disney's marketing machine and the legacy of one of its most iconic princesses, the film bombed hard. Opening weekend numbers were far below expectations, and audience turnout was shockingly low. On social media, a now viral video showed someone walking into a Snow White screening at 2 p.m., only to find the theater almost completely empty. 2 people. That was it. The clip was captioned, "Off to see the feminist fairy tale flop." And just like that, the internet had a new punchline. The film quickly plummeted to a dismal 1.6 rating on IMDb, one of the lowest for any major Disney release. Critics called it soulless, fans called it unrecognizable. And even casual moviegoers walked away confused, asking the same question, because when Family Guy turns your scandal into satire, it means your controversy has graduated from gossip to cultural legend. You're no longer just a trending topic. You're officially a punchline. For years, Family Guy has roasted politicians, celebrities, and pop culture icons, but they only go after the ones who've crossed the line from fame into spectacle. And now, Rachel Zegler is part of that club. It's not just embarrassing, it's career-defining, because for millions watching, that single joke becomes their lasting memory of her. Not the breakout role, not the awards, not the promise, just the parody. And the worst part? That joke might stick around longer than her entire Snow White run. So, is this the end of Rachel Zegler's Hollywood story? Not necessarily. If there's one thing Hollywood loves more than a downfall, it's a comeback. And yes, some stars have bounced back from worse. But here's the truth. Rachel's road to redemption won't be easy. She's not just facing box office failure. She's dealing with public mistrust, online ridicule, lost projects, and now a looming Family Guy takedown that could cement her as a pop culture joke for years. To recover, she'll need more than a good role. She'll need a full image overhaul, authenticity, humility, a story the public can root for again, because right now she's not seen as a misunderstood artist. She's seen as the symbol of everything fans feel is wrong with modern Hollywood: arrogance, agenda, and disconnection from the audience. If she can't flip that narrative fast, then this isn't just a low point, it's the final chapter. And as studios quietly turn away, the world is watching. Will Rachel Zegler reinvent herself? Or fade out as a warning for the next star who flies too close to the spotlight? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the fairy tale is over, and what comes next is entirely up to her.